Right, okay. That's us recording now, right?
Alright.
Let me play this. No. Right. Hello and welcome to the Roundtable with me, Jason Cunningham, and the Scottish anarchist that is Hugh Cuthbertson.
Hello.
So tonight we are going to be discussing a very important subject, one that has been questioned many times before, that is horror movies. So Hugh, in your honest opinion, what do you think of horror movies of today?
Well, I think we need to talk about the horror movie was that jingle.
That was The Fog, which was...
I don't get what the hell it's called, why do I thought it'd be some cool little upbeat jingle. That thing depressed me.
Yeah, that was the main thing to a really good horror ghost, actually a ghost story movie, which is called The Fog by John Carpenter, who also directed Halloween, the original. And our main subject is on horror movies, obviously, and we're going to be talking about different genres in the horror subject, like slasher, ghost, well, supernatural. So Hugh, what do you think? Like, what's your kind of favourite horror movies?
Oh, I like the suspense ones. The ones that bring back the human touch, like what would actually scare a human being. You wouldn't have some abnormal, ambiguous fucking monster coming at you, would you?
No.
You would have the stuff like, even though I don't like the movie itself, Blair Witch Project, that's like that found footage stuff that you're always going on about.
Yeah. Which I do love.
That was pretty intense, but as per usual, most genres just get saturated with just copycats that just don't come up to par, and it kind of ruins the entire genre for anyone trying to make a legitimate scare, because look, look, another horror movie, yeah, boo, ooh, I'm crying, I'm cuddling behind my damn
And I'm not really big on the whole CGI stuff. Like, I think that's where directors of today are going with, because they know it's easy to make, and they aren't bothered with going out to the actual location and, you know, filming. It's all in studios. I like the realistic side of it all. I like those kind of movies like Halloween, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Fog, those kind of movies. I love them. And especially with my favourite movie, which got me into this, was The Shining. What do you think of that, Hugh?
The Shining's a thriller.
The Shining's a thriller, but it's also a psychological thriller.
Yeah, so
which I do love. I love those kind of...
That's not horror.
Well, it's in the horror category.
No, it's not.
It's like... Director Martin Scorsese rated it as one of the 11 scariest horror movies to date.
Oh, fuck, it's a freaking horror movie. It could be kind of... Right, I'll agree with the point where it's all supernatural and stuff, but just something supernatural doesn't mean it's freaking horror. I mean, look at Supernatural itself. The gayest piece of shit fucking TV I've ever seen. You, all these little girls clamour towards it. Now, do you want movies that actually show you scary stuff, or just look at the hot characters? Ooh, no, fuck that. You want to be scared. You want to be pissing your pants. Look at The Exorcist. Back in 1978 came out. People were puking up in the goddamn cinemas. They were fainting. They got banned, I do believe. That's what a proper horror movie is.
And apparently a couple of people who were making the movie at the time died from, I don't know, something that was going on at the time.
You've been reading too much conspiracy theories.
It was actually in a documentary about The Exorcist and the whole idea of it and stuff like that, and people say that a couple of people have died in the making of it for some weird reason, I don't know.
The one thing The Exorcist really done was popularise the Ouija board. The Ouija board is a board game, right? Can I say that one more time? It's a frickin' board game. It's got nothing to do with the occult. It's got nothing to do with the devil. Nothing to do with demons. It's a frickin' board game. If I'm going to play Monopoly, does that make me a Wall Street broker? No!
I'm just looking here on my laptop. I'm just looking at the 100 best horror movies list, and the first one that comes to mind is a movie called Come and See, which was released in 1985. I've never seen that one before, but that's on the top 100 list.
Do any of these movies that are in the list have any Peter Jackson's names attached to it?
Hold on, I'll just have a wee
He
look.
made some really cool, well, campy technically, aye, but they
That's
made
maybe-
some really horror stuff where people's brains falling out their head, mother turns into a demon. That stuff, comedy, horror-ish, but still, it would scare you if you're a young child.
Like Shaun of the Dead, you're talking about?
Aye, that's campy horror. That's kind of like, if a kid watched that, they'd be scared, but they'd laugh.
Mhm.
But us, we'd just laugh at it.
On the 99 list, it's Brain Dead, which was released in
Peter
1992.
Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, Peter Jackson. That's the first Peter Jackson movie that he made. I think it was the horror.
No, was he not a he starred in it and he was a producer, I think.
Uh-huh. And
He's got a
98,
laptop, I don't, I'm just sitting here with a drink.
98 is Flesh for Frankenstein, which was released in 1973. That's at 98. What do you think of that? Those kind of movies, like the Frankenstein and the Dracula movies.
So, I like the Dracula movies. I like the actual, the Bram Stokers, I like the, what's her name? Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley,
Mary Shelley.
who wrote the book.
Yeah, that stuff I like, but as per usual, things get misconstrued. People refer to the doctor. No. People refer to the monster as Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the doctor that created the frickin' monster.
That was the biggest mistake people
Get that
make
so
out.
wrong. Even at Halloween, you see it with a Frankenstein mask. I'm like, alright, I want to see what this doctor looks like. It's the monster with the bolts in it. Like,
Donald Pleasance, who I thought was a
that's
great part
false.
for
Advertising.
the Doctor. Aye.
Don't talk over me. I will hit you. Don't wave your frickin' fingers at me. I'm talking about stuff and you're talking over me.
I'm trying to do this podcast successfully. Carry on.
Yeah, I don't want to
Carry
do it
on.
boringly, you know. I want people to be excited. I don't want your lecturer, whoever it is, saying, oh, just scored it because you done it. I want to listen to the full thing.
They can listen to the full
You
thing
ever
and give
swear-
their honest opinion.
I swear, if you edit this, I will stab you.
I promise not to.
I will make a slasher movie out of your body.
Yeah, you would actually if you had the chance. So at 97 is I Walked with a Zombie. It doesn't give you the year of when it was
Are you
released.
seriously going to go through the top 100?
Yeah, I think it's interesting doing that, and then. we
Oh
can
my
talk
god,
about-
lecturer right now, tune out. We're just going to get drunk and I'm going to shout at him for a while.
Keep on talking. I think it's interesting to kind of talk about the movies that are in the list, and then we can
What about Land of the Zombies?
Land of the Zombies.
It broke. It actually made people puke, and the reason was there was this one scene where a zombie grabbed a lady by the head, was pulling her towards a door. Well, she'd barricaded herself in a room. There was like a little gaping hole, pulling her towards the outside. At the same time, on the door frame, there was a splinter, and it went to her eye.
Wow.
And people saw that, and it was the first time ever, they freaked out.
Wow.
I saw that when I was about 12, and I'm like, wow.
There's some cool stuff going on here.
What's
So,
next?
what's your whole opinion on the 28 Days kind of franchise? Like, they've got the 28 weeks later, and I think they're planning to make a third one, I don't know. But there was talk of them making a 28 years later or something like
Well,
that.
if you're going to throw that, you could throw in The Walking Dead as well. What else could you throw in there? Resident Evil to a point.
Resident Evil is one of my favourites for so many reasons.
Yeah, you ever played the games properly?
I have.
Nothing like the games.
I know, they've kind of took it.
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit. That's
Mila
what it is.
Jovovich, hot as hell, but it's still bullshit.
We've also got movies like Army of Darkness and
Army of Darkness.
Aye,
That rings a bell. Bruce Campbell.
yep, Bruce Campbell. The year was
Shit, you don't know who Bruce Campbell is.
1992. That
Who's
was.
Bruce Campbell?
I have no idea.
I will punch you in the face. Who's
I've heard
Bruce
his-
Campbell?
I've heard his name.
Google his name right now. Google Bruce Campbell. You hear the tapping. He's scared. He is sweating here, ladies and gentlemen. 100% sweating.
Oh, he's an actor as well, isn't he?
Of course, that fucking actor. He's in a movie.
I want to get this podcast, done and
Yeah.
make it successful.
It will be successful. You know why? You've got a Scottish anarchist influence on it.
Aye.
It's not just you talking. I'm talking as well. Repeatedly. I'm not even getting paid
Bruce
for this.
Campbell. Aye, probably. Oh, The Evil Dead, 1981.
Evil Dead.
I seen that once.
I need.
Didn't like it.
I really
Evil
need-
Dead 2. What else has he been in that one?
You've pissed off a lot of horror fans right now. Evil Dead can't pay as hell, but still awesome.
Aye, I'm just kind of going through the list of movies he's been in. So, what's your whole opinion on the Halloween franchise then?
It's shit.
Shit?
Shit.
Even the originals?
Shit.
Alright, moving on. What do you think of the Nightmare on Elm Street?
Shit.
You got anything decent to say about them?
I like how they made the main character a paedophile.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about Friday the 13th?
Love Jason! Not you, but that Jason.
Jason
I love
Voorhees.
Dude, Voorhees was the bomb. He was a beast. One of my favourites, even though it's one of the most crappiest ones in the franchise, was Jason X. Just because they had Lexa Doig and Lisa Ryder.
And they actually brought in Freddy's hand at the
Then
end.
they're doing the big
That
fucking
was
always
awesome.
gets his arm chopped off. You're thinking about Freddy versus Jason, you muppet.
No, at the end of Jason X,
No,
where
they don't.
where you think that Jason has been blown up and stuff,
Yeah,
and
you said the hand thing, right?
oh yeah,
That's
that's
Fred-
through the sand.
That's Freddy Krueger. What you saw in the end of Jason X was his frickin' mask and a little twinkle.
And also
No.
Freddy's laugh
No.
came into
No.
the movie.
No.
Which you
No,
did.
I did not.
That was Jason X.
No, you're thinking of Freddy versus Jason. Well, at the end, he's got fucking
That
Freddy
was
back.
you haven't seen it properly.
Jason X.
Jason X.
Right, tell me some of the actresses that's in it, 'cause I just mentioned them.
Now you're getting me into an awkward position here because
No,
we're meant to be talking
I'm
about
putting you on the spot
our
right
favourite
now.
horror movies as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about them. And I would defend the fact that I know more about it than you.
I know, so I want you to voice your opinion. That's
I
why
am
asked you the
voicing my
question.
damn opinion. All you're doing is getting my back up. Reason, right, Jason X was a sci-fi version of the Friday
Jason
13th.
movies,
Yeah.
yeah.
No Freddy in there at all. You are thinking of Freddy versus Jason, where at the end, Jason's walking out with Freddy in the head and Ree's fucking
I've
head.
seen that, yeah.
That's the movie. We're talking about two different movies here.
I know we are.
Then why are you saying that fucking Freddy
Because
was
the
in-
last time I saw Jason X, at the end, the very end scene, Jason's mask is laying in the sand and it's a close up and you see Freddy's hand coming out.
It's
He's
not
wrapping it.
laying, and this is where you're wrong, it's not laying in the sand, it's laying underwater.
Aye, underwater.
No, how could it be in the sand and be underwater?
I must have been thinking of a different movie then.
You fucking must be, you muppet.
Right, so now we've got that out of the way. What else can we talk about? What do you think of the current horror movies like the Saw franchise, which was still going on?
Honestly, I like the Saw franchises, but see if you watch the Saw franchise in reverse, you'd see it's an old man giving back people some organs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a joke.
I got it.
No, you're not laughing, you're trying to calculate it in your head.
Because this is supposed to be like a serious subject. We're talking about horror movies and how we can change the way people make it.
How we can change
Give people ideas.
a multi-billion-dollar enterprise.
Because we can give people ideas of how we would like to see horror movies being
Right,
made.
so we get plagiarised then. Okay, that works.
Could be.
You do know what plagiarised means, do you?
Oh, don't. Right, moving on. So, what would you want to see in horror movies?
People dying.
More people dying.
More people dying.
But how would you like to see them being killed? Like, I know we've got a lot of CGI going on right now.
Fuck the CGI. I have a great fucking idea where you actually see their bones getting ripped out from their body.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've seen stuff like Hellraiser where the skin gets ripped off this guy's body, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch certain martial arts movie, and I'm forgetting them because I've seen so many, the guy took a punch and you saw it like X-ray where you saw the fucking bones cracking as he punched him.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that I want to see. I want to see the impact. If anyone's seen what's it called? Deadliest Warrior?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they show the ballistics gel when it happens. I'm sure the CGI could work to that effect where it shows you the impact of the body when you get attacked by weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool to have in more horror movies these days. Because the last really good horror movie that I saw was Saw 3D, which was in 2010. That was the last one. The one before that was Shutter Island, which I really did like. What do you think of that movie?
It was a thriller, you muppet. It wasn't a horror.
There's like horror elements to it.
What wasn't?
You're being taken out to an island where there's crazy people wandering about,
Psychological thriller.
Psychological thrillers. I do
Not
like
horror.
them. We could talk about them as well in this subject as well.
What, we're talking about horror?
We are talking about horror, but we're also talking about psychological thrillers. Things that have inspired people. You know, if they like horror, they can, you know, go out into the world
Can
and
we not just talk about scary movies?
scary movies then.
Can we
right.
just break it down
So
to
what's
that?
your favourite what makes you scared? Like what kind of movies make you jump back and like wow?
My Little Pony.
Oh god man, I know this is gonna be a long podcast. Like
Right,
being
what?
serious, like just that, right?
That ABC of Death.
ABC we could talk about
That was fucked.
I mean that
was-
really screwed us over.
Some of it we watched, it was like, well, I watched it before you, I watched it twice before you, and I'm like, I'm still not getting this. I understand the precept, it's like given to so many directors, they're given a letter of the alphabet to show that as how someone would die. The first one was it was Apocalypse, where she'd been poisoning her husband and then fucking try to stab him, cut her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that's pretty cool. Then, how did she finish him off? By throwing stuff on him?
I think it was, yeah. The one that really got to me was X. That really got to me. It was like, wasn't it like XX large or something? Or it was a big woman that was cutting herself to become fat.
Oh fuck yeah, man, that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was that fucking Taiwanese one where they're fucking they're masturbating to survive.
Which was really like, ugh, you know. I mean,
yeah.
and that one that gravity one, or that one where the guy goes out into the water and he has a brick or something. And
Yeah, that's where he commits suicide. He just goes out there, ties something, and falls down.
And it says like gravity, or I think it was probably about G.
Yeah, we were watching. I was like, right, that's not gravity. That's weights. That'd be for W.
So they got that wrong.
So
movies like that kind of interest people in a way.
Interesting me, because I was telling you about it, dude. You've got to come see this movie. You've got to come see this movie. This movie's fucking weird. We sat and watched it. We paused it when we went out. Came back. It was like, what letter are we on? What we doing?
Yeah, we had to take a break.
We were guessing. It was like, wow.
I mean, movies like that, you have to take a break. Like
I took a break because we had no beer.
Aye.
If we had beer, we'd been there all bloody night watching it straight away.
And especially, you need beer if you want to watch movies like that.
Well, you need good company, that's one thing. Let me think. That's probably the only decent horror movie I've seen in a long time. And that did bring in a mixture of different classes, different genres, different subgroups. You could watch it. Yes, was it disturbing? Absolutely. Did it last long in your mind? It still fucking rings wrong in my fucking brain today. Did you like everything in it? Nope. Nope. If you say you like a movie all the way through, you're a fucking sycophant. There's got to be something that annoys you in a movie. Where it be consistency, no congeniality, is it? No, that's not the word.
No, that's
you're a dumbass. You don't know half these words that are coming out.
But I certainly think that
continuity, that's the word I'm looking for.
But I definitely think that people who want to make horror movies of today should go back and watch those movies that we've just mentioned, like Friday the 13th, Halloween.
Well, maybe those movies, do, and they put out their image of what they think is scary. Because
in my mind, there's too much CGI and all that 3D stuff that's going on right now.
3D's awesome for horror.
But let's like.
Have you ever seen porn in 3D?
Nope, I've never seen
it.
Funny.
That's the most funniest stuff ever.
Yeah.
If they can do that for porn, they can do it for anything.
So yeah, I think people should go back to the old school style of like look at people like what do you call it, like Stanley Kubrick, those people, and what's his name, the one that made Creepshow. There was Stephen King, and who was the other guy? It was George E. Romero. Those people kind of inspire me a lot. George Romero.
He done Land of the Dead,
Diary of the Dead. Those movies.
Some sequential remakes that. What was it? The one in 2006.
What was that one? I think that was Diary of the Dead.
No, it was either Day of the Dead, something of the Dead.
Something of the Dead.
He's good with the zombie stuff. The one he made is like, I can do this, but I'm losing interest. That's what you get from him. There's no breakthrough. It's like zombies are everywhere. We need to go find a safe place. There's no safe place. Meh. Actually, I take it back. The last movie I saw, zombie movie, was that one. Z-Day.
ZD, I don't think I've seen that
Is
one.
it Z-Day? It's with
Is it
Tom Cruise. Hold on. I can type it up.
ZD?
Z-Day.
Let me just check this.
Make sure you're spelling this correct. Oh shit. Ah, there is it. Tap.
Let's see, hold on, let's see here.
No, that's not it.
Was it not maybe World War Z?
There we go. Date with that. No, that's still not it. Let me look.
Yeah.
No, what? Oh, the hell is it called?
Was it not maybe World War Z?
That's it, World War Z.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
That was really good. I'll back in a little second.
Okay.
I'm going to nip out and get some that I need. I forgot to bring it before. Talk, get ready. People want to hear you.
Aye, so like I said, I think people should kind of go back to watching movies like Halloween and The Shining and those kind of movies. Like, look at the way that the director brings to the movie itself, not just concentrating more on the story, more on the imagery and the locations that they're shooting at and all that game and how they work with the actors. I mean, like I was just talking about The Shining and how Stanley Kubrick brought a lot of imagery to the movie. You've seen that, haven't you, The Shining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Aye, it's an awesome movie.
You ever seen Cujo?
I haven't seen that yet, man.
Stephen King, it's awesome.
Alright. So yeah, I think people need to concentrate more on the imagery and how they work with the actors, because I think somehow it's kind of silly the way people direct, like, young people of today in horror movies. Like, it's just kind of, like, you kind of stand there, just scream. Like, if something's coming at you, just scream. And you have to work with them, like Stanley Kubrick in The Shining. After he got his perfect take, he just carried on until they actually went over the edge, and that's how Jack Nicholson's performance was so great, in that bathroom scene. He goes, "Here's Johnny." I think that was a really powerful performance. What do you think, Hugh?
Yeah, he actually ad-libbed that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally did.
Yeah, and I think
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, you were struggling for his name right there.
No, I wasn't. I got it right.
That's because I said it, that's why you got it.
Aye, so what else do you want to talk about here? Like,
well, let's name one of the most famous scenes, and I'll describe it for you and see if you don't get the movie right.
you gonna punch me?
Yeah.
No.
Shower scene.
Psycho.
There we go.
Yeah, that's another great
Let's
horror
hope for
movie.
you, yeah. That was. Who was it? Orson Welles?
Orson Welles, and it was
Is it
directed.
Is it Orson Welles?
No, I think. What was his name?
Well, you've got a fucking laptop in front of you, use it.
Aye, I know, I was just trying to think.
I don't think it's Orson Welles, it's not H.G. Wells.
It's one of those people.
No, it's not. It's gonna drive me
Alfred Hitchcock.
Not Hitchcock.
It was
Why is he not
released
in
in
your little...
1960.
Why is he not in your little bit of pen and paper piece of paper?
I was going to mention him later.
Bullshit.
But yeah, that's another great example of how the director works with actors and stuff like that. I mean, in your honest opinion here, like, do you think directors of today should
What
work
were you
more?
calling me Hugh this time?
Shug,
There we go.
obviously.
Yeah, that's better.
Do you think people should work more with the actors and concentrate on the story and all that, like, to get the best performance out of someone?
Right, even though they're good in that, they need to be tip top, but you need to engage the audience. My idea for a good horror is have the lead character, the most nicest person in the world, instantly fall in love with this person. You're like, oh yeah, good, yeah, don't want anything to happen to her. Then put them through shit. Like, get their dog killed, get their best friend mutilated, have their parents raped in front of you, have, I don't know, their best friends dismembered bit by bit while she watches, then see how that develops. That's a good start for your franchise. Anyone wants to do that, copyrights all me. What are you doing?
Just having a wee browse through to see if I can...
It doesn't exist, I just made it up in my head.
No, to see if there's any other good horror movies that we could talk about.
You should have had all this written down beforehand.
Ah, well, we're getting it done now anyway, so...
Apparently.
So, the Chucky movies, what do you think of them?
They're kind of, like we talked earlier, those, campy funny, but
Campy.
it's still scary. At the time it was scary, but you watch it now, it's like the little dogs just running up and being all adorable and
The
stuff.
wee
and
knife killing each
people.
other.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the Amityville horror movies?
Horrible, man. Like writing on blood on the wall and all that malarkey.
Like,
Apparently based on a true event, yet proven otherwise. It was
I mean,
not based
who
on
is actually out there right now who let them, like, broadcast that to the world? Like, all those things that have happened to them, you know what I mean, and their family and their friends and all that.
I just said it's been proved unproven, yet you went on a little fucking speaker.
No, I mean,
about
they
how
must
it's
be
actually
crazy to actually let them show people that, you know.
Let them show what?
What happened to them?
What happened to who?
The things that have been based on what happened to the
I
actual
just
people.
freaking told you that the Amityville horror is fiction.
It's fiction, aye.
Right, so why
Like, based on true events. Like
No,
I'm just
it's
saying,
fucking not based on any true events. That's been it's been myth. The myth has been busted on that.
I'm just saying that guy. No, I mean, if it was based on true, I'm just saying if it was based on true
We're
events.
playing hypothetical now, are we?
Yeah,
Right, we'll do
I'm
that
just
then.
saying. If it was based on true events, that person would have been sick to actually allow people to show that to the world, and he'd be sick to show people
Have
that.
you ever watched any horror movies at all?
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm doing this.
Then you'll realise the
podcast.
statement you just made was kind of stupid. Why would anyone like to broadcast this? Well, we like horror movies, so we.
Sort of like the Paranormal Activity movies.
Those, I freaking Paranormal Activity. Do not watch it in a darkened room with headphones and a laptop. Then someone creeps into your room. You will be scared shitless. That's a good movie. Psychologically horror filled. That I don't like it, but I like it.
Especially with the whole idea of like horror games being made into movies, like Resident Evil, for instance, and Silent Hill and those movies.
Oh, I know, I get you.
Aye.
Yeah. It's like horror games. Like, do people just get abducted and be put through the most brutal stuff? Like the first event, Saw. Dun, 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 don't lose any armpit. Don't lose any fucking body parts.
Click
Next
this,
part.
click that.
Next part, outrun Jason. Good luck with that. Next part, sleep test. Don't let Freddy kill you in your sleep.
Never go to sleep
Next.
again.
Next part, you're in a room. Don't let any of the paranormal activities people touch you. That's what I thought when you said horror games, but
Aye.
you mean video games based on horror movies or horror movie video games?
Horror movie video games,
Right,
that's what I
those.
was talking about.
Some of them are good, like Slender Man.
Slender Man
They
is
could
good.
never make that into a movie, though.
Never.
They couldn't.
They couldn't top the video game, they can never do that. They couldn't top the suspense that it gives and that isolation and all that. I mean, when you talk about like The Evil Dead and all that, I mean, those were kind of really creepy movies.
Those
Like,
were you just said you never watched them.
I watched the first one, never again. I would never watch them again because they really creeped me out. I mean, I was alone in the house at the time and I was just sitting there and it was on and I was like, oh, just can't sit there and watch this and find out what it's all about.
I'd watch it again, man. Bruce Campbell's awesome.
And what about like the Grudge movies and Japanese style horror movies?
Best ever seen, The Grudge 2 opening. Love a little happy family, husband and wife, we'll just say. The husband complains about his son. The wife casually takes a pot of boiling hot oil, pours it over the dude's head, whacks him, sits down, has a coffee. Greatest opening ever.
And also like the Ring movies and like stuff coming out of
If we're going to
TVs.
talk about Japanese stuff, we're going to be here for days when it concerns me.
Well, go ahead. But like, what do you think of the Japanese?
Hold on.